All right, welcome back to Sunrise. Yes, you've seen the Akande joins us this morning. Good morning. Thank you for coming on today.
Good morning. Good to see you guys.
So this killing in Kwara State, really concerning, and several things. One wonders, does the president actually have a true picture of the challenge you have? Yeah, I know he's commander-in-chief. Right. You know, the challenge you have in this country about security, because time and again, it appears really clear, the handwriting on the wall. Response time for security agencies is appalling. There's intelligence failure. This leaks time and again when you need to do certain things. Capacity in terms of the amount of people or security agencies that need to protect a particular area. Right. Coordination between security agencies, whether it's police, even amongst the armed forces themselves, also a challenge. When you see the army on foot soldiers, you don't see the Air Force. So all of these things appear visible, as they say, to the blind. But does the CNC have this picture?
Well, I don't have any doubt that he understands the gravity of the problem. When you sit on that chair in the presidency, you know what even nobody else knows. You know, different agencies give you reports, you know, and you are the only one that is receiving those reports from different agencies. So this particular agency might know something, the other agency doesn't know it, but you as president, you know what both of them are saying. So I have no doubt about it that, you know, the people who sit on the chair as the president, they know all they need to know, especially regarding issues of security. There is no doubt about that. I think the problem that we have, that we've had and that we continue to have, is that we have not had an urgent, you know, a very urgent, radical, drastic pursuit of resolution of this problem. Now, this president tried to say that, look, there is an emergency, but he fell short of doing a constitutional state of emergency. We give him the credit that he said that, look, I'm declaring, you know, a national emergency on security, but that is not a constitutional declaration of the state of emergency, you know. So we still have quite a lot of things to do in terms of taking this thing as a very urgent, existential threat to the very idea of Nigeria. And the other problem is that, so even during the Buhari administration, you know, there was an idea of, look, we need to increase the number of troops. But you know that up to today, we have not had a significant improvement of that. This president has also said it when he declared that national emergency. What is the progress? What is the progress? How many troops more do we have? How many police people do we have? We still have a huge amount of ungoverned places. Not that those things will change suddenly. It wouldn't change suddenly. But you need to have some kind of public communication that inspires hope that we are edging towards some kind of progress. If we said that we wanted to have 20,000 more troops, between the time that it was said, which is a couple months from now, what has happened? What is the progress? So that while we are dealing with this problem, people can know that somewhere down the road, we are inching towards some kind of resolution. The way it is, the whole thing looks so hopeless that these guys will just decide, those ungoverned places, let's just go there. And they are having a free for all situation, and it's very depressing.
Part of the reason why I want to ask is because, look, you don't even have to be neck deep in intelligence or be a soldier, be a top cop. Just a little observer of international affairs and security, you can glean how several countries have approached these kind of matters. It's not rocket science. And that's why we say, look, do they actually have all this picture? But if you say they do, one wonders, why is it so difficult for them to do this? Because, I mean, we all know when 9/11 happened, Homeland Security came about. There was a deliberate step. But in this case, we keep talking about, deploy troops here, deploy troops there, the army. We keep doing that, but we're never seeing that. It shows that we're not even getting the kind of results we want. The police is still the same they've been ever since. Nothing seems to have changed.
The part of the truth that we must tell ourselves as a people, and this is not trying to call out anybody, is that, you know, our attempt has been so far mediocre. You know, and it does not recognize the gravity of the problem. It's very mediocre. That is the result. And it's not just this administration.
Call out anybody, but we need to call out people
Well,
we need to call out the people who say that they are in charge of our security, who have taken oaths to protect the, the security of lives and property of the Nigerian people. Because when you think about it, what is the guarantee? Any one of us could have been from Woro and maybe gone to visit the community. We're going to visit,
have relatives.
Have relatives there. There is nothing that says that it cannot be another community, that this will not happen tomorrow or it will not happen next week. If we're looking at over a space of, is it 2 hours or, beg your pardon, 2 days, over close to 200 people have lost their lives just like that.
Yeah.
Who takes responsibility for that? Who says this was my responsibility? I'm sorry, I failed in this regard.
So the buck stops at the president's desk, and even though we must recognize that the president can be all over the place, his responsibility is to hold people accountable, and he has not done that. President Buhari did not do that. President Tinubu is not. You need to hold people responsible in a public way. That is how you send a signal to everybody that this game is changing. But nobody is held responsible. Look at how many people have died. I mean, I was reading Daily Trust this morning. In 3 states, is it over 100 or 300 people?
Yeah, 130 lives.
130 lives in 3 states about a time of 48 hours. Who are we holding responsible? Who is the president calling out? Who is the president firing? Who is the president suspending? We will not hear anything. So it will repeat itself. So while we understand that president cannot do everything, but is the one that has the authority to say that you were the one responsible for this thing that happened. This is the consequence that you must suffer. Until we start to do that, we are still going to be managing this mediocre approach. Everybody thinks that, look, which one is my own? And that starts with the president. But like I said, nobody expects the president to be jumping all over the place. But he must do the tough job of saying that I cannot accept this anymore. Somebody must go down. We need blood on the ground, like they will say.
I'm looking at the vulnerabilities of the people. And I think over and over again, we've made the case on this program that state police clearly is inevitable. Because when you look at the response time, these people, they said they started about 5 p.m. They were there till the early hours of this morning, wrecking carnage, in these communities. And those people were there helpless, killing whoever they could kill, burning houses, stealing people that they could steal, and nothing. Nobody came to their rescue until the wee hours of this morning. When you think about it, one has to say, look, okay, it's one thing, you cannot stop people from attacking. An armed robber will always try to steal. A kidnapper will always attempt to. But it must be our responsibility to find how it is that we can either stop them, we can either mitigate those kinds of, we respond in good time. Maybe they've been there only 10 minutes and we've been able to repel them. But 10 hours.
Yeah. It also shows that the intelligence is still failing, because some of these things, even if you can't respond, which you ought to, by the way, I'm not saying that it's not important, but at times it is even the best thing is to know that these things are happening.
Or they're gathering.
And you try and strike. Especially now that we know that something is happening in Kwara State. For a couple months now, we know that something is happening in Kwara State. But these guys just move from one place to the other. It's like they are watching us. They are watching the people. They know the weaknesses of the security, and they are striking where the security is poor. And so these are the things that should worry our security chiefs. And we have some pretty good, intelligent people around. But if there are no consequences, if I don't think I'm going to suffer any consequence, I'm going to sit down pretty. I'm going to sit down pretty. And then wait out my time, and then I go, I enjoy my retirement. I get out of the place. Somebody else comes. He doesn't think that anybody is going to hold him responsible. He's going to sit down pretty. And then that is the job of the president. The president must begin to hold people accountable and publicly so that he sends a signal that I'm not tolerating this nonsense anymore. And it's very important, to say that, yes, Mr. President can be everywhere, but this is his job to make sure that the people who are in these places are held accountable. That is one of the missing pieces.
It makes it look like adding salt to injury when, the other day we had images of a herder seeing brazenly bearing arms,
Yeah.
just walking freely.
Yeah.
Nobody seems to be enforcing any gun laws whatsoever. It appeared as though when they appear like that, the gun laws disappear in this country. They act as though it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
For regular citizens, they're not.
Oh, of course.
Bear those kind of arms.
Look at what happened to Pastor Adi Francis. Somebody's, there was this Instagram post.
And then everybody
they thought that we aren't sure whether it's even a gun or not, but hey, it looks like a gun, and everybody, So it's like we have, two sets of laws, double standards, and these are the issues that keep on, reminding us that the problems that we are facing, they are much deeper. Yes, lives are being lost, and that is very painful, but it speaks to a deeper wrath in who we have become. And that's where we need our leaders. And now we have to talk about people outside of the political leadership. They have to speak up. Our religious leaders, they have to speak up. They must take this, as a major advocacy. People, leaders of thought, traditional rulers, they need to be very frank about this problem. They need to be able to pinpoint what happened in a particular location, how it didn't work, and call out the people and call out the government. If we don't get to that point, even the people in the political leadership, they also think that they're not going to suffer any consequence.
They think they're safe.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. Mr. President is allowing the people in charge to not to suffer consequences. The elites and the people of Nigeria are also allowing the president not to suffer political consequences. So this is the reign of impunity. So our leaders, non-political leaders, have to also wake up and smell the coffee. Please don't wait until this thing comes close to your door. Speak up now so that our political leaders can also sit up. Everybody needs to sit up.
This is as we hear that U.S. boots on the ground in Nigeria. It's very ironic that the day or two after we hear that they've landed is when this sort of carnage is happening. What effect do you think that's going to have? Well, bothered?
It's going to take a while for them to settle here. I think it's a good thing that they are returning. I remember they used to come during Obasanjo presidency. There was this kind of arrangement. We don't know the number. They said it's a small team. But I am for all the help the Americans can give us, and hopefully there's going to be some kind of synergy working together with our whole armed forces and security agencies. I think they can be very, very helpful, in the near term. I'm very positive.
Even though they say it's for intelligence purposes, not to engage, they're not combatants, I say, well,
we really don't need them on the ground to be doing but we need them to strengthen intelligence and in some of the areas of the equipment. And I imagine that some of those people that are coming are going to be the ones that we also manage some of the equipment they have given us. I think the support of the Americans can be a game changer. And I'm very hopeful about that. And it's one good thing that we must credit the president for ensuring that the Americans are offering us help and that we find a mutual way to work together on this issue.
Well, I think the agencies should also know that if they allow things keep going this way and communities across the country perhaps almost at the same time decide to bear certain amounts of arms, security cannot contain them.
Yeah.
Because if the people, they've been pushed to the wall, so I don't know what next comes after that.
That's the danger that we speak of about
why shouldn't I bear arms to protect myself?
It's an existential
given
threat.
What's going on.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't I?
Because
if I see people doing it, why shouldn't I do it?
Look, somebody as eminent as General T.Y. Danjuma has insinuated this over and over again to say that, look, go and arm yourself. There is internal collusion in the military. The man has said it over and over again. So that is what we mean when we say it is a threat to our existence as a nation.
And they say, how that proverb in local parlance, you cannot be inside water and soap enter your eye.
Absolutely.
So you have to find a way. Always a pleasure to have you on. Lalu, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Well, that wraps it up today. Commiserations to the families of those who've lost their loved ones. So we do, I hate to say hope, but it is what it is. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Chamberlain Usof. Goodbye.
Well, thank you. Business Mornings on top of the hour. I'm Malkwe Obi Yusuf. Goodbye.